back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port, and we have a doozy for you today. First time, long time, the Barnes and Michael show.
You.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, I have no idea these days.
Pumped up to be here, though. Obviously, goes without saying, tough night for the Yankees last night as they dropped game 2, setting up a pivotal game 3 tomorrow night in Kansas City. And it's just one of those things where, as a fan, as a diehard fan, you have to, keep perspective. And there's no point in, crying the river, holding up the white flag. We all want to win every game. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work like that. And there's been many scenarios. I believe the year was 2000, Michael. We were playing the division series against Oakland. We lost the first 2 at home and then stormed back to win 3 in a row. Obviously, this being a tie series, and every other series is tied as well. Just to kind of give you an idea of, how tightly knit, these matchups are. And, we'll get into, the full breakdown of last night. But like we've seen other times in the postseason, if you want to win, you got to hit. And 2 runs, especially 1 through 8 innings, is not going to be enough. So like I said, we'll get to that in a second. Let's sprinkle a couple comments in there first, Michael, if you would.
I shall. All right, we have Kev Dew saying, let's go. We want the smoke, obviously. Mets tonight, let's effing go. Someone needs to light a fire under Judge's ass because he is not good in the postseason. We need tanks, Mets World Series. He definitely meant Yanks. He corrected it. Yes, he did. There he is.
And I just,
we'll get to your rebuttal. Yo, fam,
Michael.
I know, tough because
new sheriff.
Well, because you're gonna go through them all right now. I think it's a better flow. Tony doesn't know.
Go ahead.
Yo, fam, tough Yankee night. Got to bounce back tomorrow, and we definitely will, Josh. Definitely, it's part of the whole story. Matthew, come on. Kev, do Josh. What do you got?
I was just gonna say, listen, when it comes to Judge, because Kev was quick to mention that. It's been disappointing so far, but it's been 2 games, and obviously, yes, you can go back to other postseasons where the power has been there, but there's been a lot of strikeouts, not enough contact. But when you've seen almost every game of Aaron Judge's career and you know what type of player he is, there is nothing, Michael, that comes in his way. So he's going to figure it out, and I think he's going to bounce back in Kansas City in a big way. And also, too, a lot of times, like in a playoff series, you would say, oh, we got to go on the road now and kind of bug out. But the Yankees actually led the major leagues in road wins this season with 50. So really, that's a place where they're comfortable with. And, you look at what the matchup's going to be tomorrow. You got Seth Lugo versus Clark Schmidt. And I think that's going to be a good pitchers matchup. It's nice that we have a right-hander going on the other side for whatever reason, as we like to kid around on here. The bugaboo this season, has been the left-handed starter. So to go up against a righty, and I know Seth Lugo was an all-star this year, had a career year, but for the majority of his career, he's been a middling starter on Tony's Mets or a reliever. So he's hittable. We can get to him. We will get to him. And is SALEH actually fired? That's what Josh B just said. Can we confirm that or? That is absolutely nuts if that's the case, Michael.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, I would think Josh isn't gonna, hoax us. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. I'm looking up my Twitter feed now.
Jets fire head coach. Wow.
There will be a new head coach for Monday night's game.
Go ahead.
The New York Jets have fired head coach Robert SALEH. They do deserve a standing O for this one. Obviously, deer in headlights. A move, Michael.
Do we do it?
To be made. Jets, Jets.
Let's go!
Let's go. I think that's going to pump them up, and it's ironic.
This is the move we needed. This is the move we needed.
We were just talking about Ulbrich, the coffee, Dan Campbell. They have not announced, the opening tee shot at Augusta National yet, but they haven't announced the interim coach. But I think Ulbrich makes sense. He's jacked up.
Oh my God.
And it's a shame that they waited this long to make this move. I think it should have been made, before this season. And I just hope too, with their need to, accommodate every dying wish of Aaron Rodgers, that I hope they don't put Hackett as the head coach. Are you a little concerned they may do that? Just because he's this guy, right? I mean, unless somebody from the set, that's not.
What if you see? How would you feel? But how? Just a hypothetical.
I hate him, but
he
would be better probably than anybody else or Robert SALEH. But it's not going to happen just because he hates the Jets, and we all know that. But that is definitely
clip. I gotta talk to Josh.
That is definitely a big story here. Be interesting to see who they go to as the interim coach. Matthew Ryan saying, "Fucking finally." We'll if more comes out about this story, we'll definitely go back to that, and we'll talk some NFL in a second. But we know what we have to start with, Michael. If we could go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Tony. Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So as we mentioned, game 2 at the stadium, featuring a pitching matchup of Carlos Rodon and Cole Reagans. And the way this game started, top half of the first, Carlos Rodon firing fastballs, hitting corners, striking out the side. So, the stadium's jacked up. He's jacked up. You're thinking, maybe he's going to go 7 scoreless. The first inning starts 2. First guy's on. We talk about walks and plate discipline. Glaber walks, Soto walks, but then Judge, 2 on, nobody out, strikes out. Austin Wells strikes out looking, and then Giancarlo Stanton grounds out. So one of those annoying scenarios, first inning, where you don't get the runners in. Usually, those comes back to bite, which obviously.
I think you'd be proud of me. Just sorry to cut you off. I'm so sorry. I've been tuned in, dialed in.
Yeah.
Even Tony can't even.
We need you Wednesday.
Tony thinks I'm was fraudulent at first.
Yeah.
But it's the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time.
I
wish I could be as into it. I'm living through you during the season, and I'm staying in tune.
Yeah.
But via Sportsport especially, but you going to the games, just so into it.
Yeah.
But postseason, I'm with you, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. No,
it's epic.
This is a mission, and we're coming.
No one's going winless, undefeated. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen.
Every series is 1-1. Just to give you, an example there. So you don't get anything in the first, second inning. Rodon gets 2 quick outs and then gives up a single to Massey, but strikes out Tommy Pham. So again, we're feeling pretty good about Rodon. Yankees on offense, Ungats, unfortunately. Jazz strikes out, Volpe singles, Verdugo flies out. Volpe steals second, but then John Birdie making his first career start at first base in a postseason game. You don't usually see that. Strikes out swinging. Third inning, Rodon, another strikeout, gives a single, and then a ball comes back, hits off of Rodon, infield single, so 2 on, 1 out, but he gets a ground out and a line out, so unscathed. Go to the third inning. Glaber walks, Soto strikes out, Judge just misses a home run to right field, wind blowing in. Austin Wells singles, and then Giancarlo Stanton, you don't see this often. The ball kind of gets caught up in the grass, an infield single, which scored Glaber Torres. So Yankees 1-0 lead, was feeling really good. But then the fourth inning, the grizzled vet himself, I think he's 38 now, Sal Perez, a hanging breaking ball over the middle of the plate, home run, ties the game at 1. And then Rodon immediately gives up a single to Yuri Gurriel. Wild pitch. So he advances to second. He strikes out Michael Massey, but then gives up a single to Tommy Pham. That scores Gurriel. Pham steals second. He strikes out Renfroe. So it's like, okay, maybe we're going to get out of this, somewhat unscathed. But then a single to Garrett Hampson, scoring Tommy Pham. And then they give him the hook, which very much surprised me. I just think they were worried it was going to get out of hand. Ian Hamilton, first pitch, though, gives up a hit to Miguel Garcia. That makes it 4-1. And from that point on, the Yankee bullpen does the job. Unfortunately, as we would see, the offense doesn't. Fourth inning, just a Volpe walk, and then 3 outs. Fifth inning, Ian Hamilton gets his job done. Bottom of the fifth, Soto strikes out, Judge walks, but then Austin Wells double play. Jake Cousins, making his first appearance in a little bit here. Gurriel reaches on a throwing error. Michael Massey walks, but then he gets Tommy Pham to fly him out. And then Tim Hill comes in. They get a double play, 4-1. Okay, let's get the bats going. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, Stanton, Jazz, Volpe. Top 7, Clay Holmes in, gives up a single. They throw out Isabel, stealing second. They give up an infield single, and then Clay Holmes gets 2 strikeouts. So then you're hoping, okay, let's rally in the 7th. Verdugo single. All right, we're working with something. Birdie's due up. Do we go pinch hitter? They keep him in. Lines out. Glaber strikes out. Soto lines out. So again, through 7, 4-1. Tommy Kahnle comes in, works around a 2-out Michael Massey walk to retire the side. 8th inning, Judge reaching on an infield single, but Austin Wells strikes out looking. It's double play. So we've seen this where that first runner gets on, and then you can't follow it up. And then Tim Maiza, gets 2 outs on a ground out and a strikeout, but gives up a single. They go to Luke Weaver down 3, which was interesting, but obviously I think they just wanted to make sure they could have a chance to tie it with 1 swing. And unfortunately, so Weaver gets that out on only 4 pitches, but then, Royals closer Lucas Edcraig coming in for Kansas City. And you get that 1 swing, Michael, but unfortunately it's to lead off the inning, not with anybody on base. So that just cuts the deficit to 2 ground outs. John Birdie singles. So you're saying, okay, 1 swing will tie, but Glaber grounds out. And the Yankees drop game 2 here, 4-2. And it's just one of those things where you understand, especially in the 9th, even for Jazz, they hit that home run off at Craig. He's throwing 100 miles an hour, one of the best relievers in the game. You're not going to just be able to tattoo him for 4 runs, but at the same time, you were almost lifeless on offense all game, so you thought there could be more of a rally. And you want to move forward. You got to get better against left-handed pitching. It just seems like every time a lefty starts, you don't win the game. And it's interesting with Rodon. I think he just had a bad inning, but again, this is the postseason. There's no room for error. So you hope that he can get off to another strong start, for his second start, which would potentially come into game 5 should we get there. We're hoping to wrap this up in Kansas City, but we'll need to win both of those games. So it definitely doesn't leave you with a good feeling. I think the difference is, it's series tied at 1. And you've played well on the road. You've played well against Kansas City. And I think almost in a sense, because you've played so well on the road, it's almost, good to get out of Yankee Stadium here, and have a chance to take care of business in Kansas City. So that's really what I'm looking forward to doing here. And I know the guys after the game, I wouldn't be surprised, if they had a team meeting and just said, listen, this one got away from us. We're not going to let this happen again. Let's go to Kansas City. And as we would say, Michael, the proverbial business trip to Kansas City. Let's get the job done. And Clark Schmidt has really got the job done all year long. And I expect him in his first postseason start to be jacked up, dialed in, and ready to go. And I think, that was the right move in lieu of going with Heel, because we know Heel, has the better stuff, the more dominant stuff, but struggles with control. So the last thing you want to do, put a rookie pitcher on the hill in a road postseason game, a game that you really want to win. So I think, that makes a lot of sense, to go with Schmidt for that game. And like I said, Seth Lugo on the hill has had a good season, but we know this Yankee team is capable of beating him. And again, we talk about this all the time. I think the key is getting off to that strong start. I know technically you had a 1-0 lead here, but get 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third. It shouldn't always have to be a rally, especially because Kansas City has a pretty good bullpen. So you want to get to the starter. And like I said, Lugo's hittable. So, it's just all hands on deck, game 3 here tomorrow. And let's just get the job done. Let's take control of this series once again. And then to put us in a situation where, we need to win 1 of 2 games to advance to the American League Championship Series. Let's do that. I know we can do it, and I know deep down that we are going to do it. Just curious, Michael, you said you were tuned in last night?
Yeah.
Any one-liners? Because I haven't heard any of them, because, I was at the game, on Saturday, and then was at the concert last night. So just was watching on mute for a little bit. Any one-liners from Casas that everybody's saying, and remember 2 years ago I had the rant about how he's like, this has got to be his last assignment here. 2 years later, he's still here. Were you annoyed by anything he said, or just find his voice annoying? Anything? I mean, give me something, Michael. Because everybody's saying it's like the worst. Matt was saying he's probably going to have to mute it.
I honestly was preoccupied with the audio because Joey was here and other people were here. So the audio for the game was lower. So I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
I guess they were saying waxing poetic about the Royals, and it's literally because besides that he's such a historian and just so obsessed with stuff that happened 50 years ago, but also he's trying to hard sell that he's impartial and not a Yankee fan, which he is. Kind of ridiculous, or no? Like over the top trying to sell it that way?
That he's a Yankee fan?
That he's impartial. Like he's trying to like almost mask it. In a sense.
I don't know. I don't think so.
But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, though, and I know you can at least.
I just want the Yankees to win.
That's what I'm saying. So
like,
you know
I
what?
don't care, Bob Schmob. Fucking give me 29.
28.
I want 2 in a row.
Let's start with
I'm
28.
freaking skipping this one.
Oh my God,
man.
that's too funny. That's too funny. But before we continue on here, I saw a couple more comments trickled in, sir.
Yes, we're talking Robert Saleh fired. Fucking finally, Phillies will dominate poverty team. Jay Bird's in here.
Confirmed breaking news. Josh B.
Thank you.
Fire it up. Where's it?
Sorry.
Jeff Ulbrich has been named interim head coach for your New York Jets. Jeff Ulbrich getting the nod here. And we talked about this at the Horseshoe on Sunday. I think this is a great move. I think he's going to be so fired up. And I think it's a good, like anytime, there's always that extra energy when you go to an interim coach. And it doesn't matter what sport it is, but I think football, more than any other sport, for some reason, seems like there's a big rally. And that's what I'm expecting here. I think this guy's got the energy. I mean, we saw on Hard Knocks. I mean, you try to put him on terrestrial TV, you can't, because it's all F this, F that. I mean, he is Dan Campbell's equal.
Really?
Do you think it's a good move? I mean,
I don't know him.
No, but you saw Hard Knocks last year.
No.
I know you watched
didn't.
one episode. Yes,
I
you
did not. I watched like a clip at your house one time, and it was like not enough.
But that's what it is. It's let's fucking go. Like, fuck this, fuck that. Like, just
Let's look
8
him
times
up.
in a row. Used to be, I believe.
Oh, he
anyway.
does look like. Oh, dude, he looks like.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh my gosh.
But
dude.
I mean, do you think this is gonna? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Rodgers wanted it. But I mean, also, I just think from an energy perspective.
Yeah, dude, are you kidding me? He was a Niners linebacker during their Super Bowl days, right? Or no?
Yes, and I believe he was a linebackers coach there, but then and I think he wanted to leave, but like the Jets wouldn't let him because it was like a parallel move, like he wanted to get out. So I think a lot of people were just not happy with Robert Saleh at the end of the day. He got a long leash. Now, I know it's hard to kind of because it feels like forever ago, but when he first got to the Jets, were you confident? Did he seem like he was the guy? Because to me, I just saw him in San Francisco.
Defensive coordinator, asshole.
So that was it for you. It's
Yes.
just like this day and age. This is in 1970.
Like, just
needed
stop,
offensive-minded
dude.
head coach.
Like, dude, that's why you have a defensive coordinator to handle the defense. But I need my head coach to handle business. Officer Paul and I were in the pool Sunday. Mary Materiello, where's Anthony? He's working. Hi, fellas. Miss you so much. We miss you too. We got to come visit.
Too. The pool sounds amazing. I know Tony was saying till the end of November they got that puppy heated. So I'm sure that's nice. In the fall,
Yeah,
right?
we got to go there. For
definitely.
like a fall day, Sunday football
the
type of weekend.
rat.
Oh my gosh,
really, those games got crazy.
they're so fun.
They really are. They really are. So yeah, I mean that was definitely kind of a bombshell. But back to the baseball here. I don't like the way they did the schedule. Just because it's like here we are. I mean, 2 off days in 3 days. And then you have to play 2 in a row on the road. But like you just said, I mean, Bob Schmob, same thing with the schedule. Play the games on the schedule, win the games. And do you ever feel like, too, Michael? Like, listen, at the end of the day, we're not masking anything. We all wanted to win that game last night. But do you ever feel like a loss like this can, in the long run, be a positive? Because it's like, listen, like we got to hone in. Like this is a quick series. Like it can't be, we're scoreless through 6 in game 3. Like that can't happen.
No, that can't happen.
And it won't happen.
No.
And I mean, what do you think? Because I know, especially like Mets fans, like a Kev do, and I get it because you just look at statistics, but are kind of harping on the Judge in the postseason narrative. I mean, what's your response to that, Michael? Because obviously, I mean, especially these first 2 games, I mean, the numbers aren't there. But I mean, what's your response or just thoughts about that?
On what? I'm sorry.
Judge, not.
He's gonna.
You think
they're haters? Yeah, they're all haters. They're thinking whatever they want to think, but it happens to players, and it's gonna be just like Pete Alonso. Everyone's quiet now,
right?
And then he hit another home run, and it's just it's gonna happen.
Well, I thought we weren't talking Mets today.
We have to a little.
I don't know. Tony's not here. Sorry,
I know it's hilarious. It is tough for him.
But no, to make a parallel, it's kind of like with basketball and stuff. Like when you're talking about this guy hasn't won a championship, that guy hasn't won, and then it's like, well, then they do. So it's like, you know what I mean? You could only say they're not doing this, they're not doing that for too long. And especially when you have talent like that. I mean, we know, talent will always win out. Mary saying pool will be closed November 1st, so come soon. And then Matthew saying Saleh get fired. Wow.
Yeah, dude, that's epic.
So I think the right move there. So of course, tomorrow, we'll talk more about game 3 between the Royals and the Yankees, from Kansas City. And then just around the league here, I mean, only other game yesterday. How about these Detroit Tigers? They dropped game 1. And win game 2 in Cleveland yesterday, 3-0. A Kerry Carpenter 3-run homer of Emmanuel Clase. And I believe the number was Clase coming into the game and had given up, I think 5 runs in 40 innings and then gave up 3, in an inning and a third, whatever it was. So known as one of the best closers in the game. Tie ball game here. He serves it up, and the Tigers win, and it's just been unbelievable. This team, was expected to win probably 70 games this year. They win 86. They get in the wild card. They sweep Houston, and then they split in Cleveland, and now they head back to Detroit. Obviously, it would be a tall task, but they have a chance to, close this series out, win both in Cleveland, and then they would be on to the ALCS. So, I think impressive job there. Obviously everybody doesn't like him from his Astro days, but you can't argue. AJ Hinch has done a good job managing that ball club. And Tariq Skubal, who's going to win the American League Cy Young, 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs or walks, 8 strikeouts, only 92 pitches yesterday. So did an excellent job. And then their bullpen, Vest and Brisky, getting the job done. Boyd gave them 4 2/3 scores for Cleveland. And their bullpen did a great job. Unfortunately for them, though, Clase, just giving up, as Tony would get out for, the big blow. That was the difference in this one. So they themselves will also have their game 3 tomorrow in Detroit. So we'll have to talk about that one then. But always love a good story in sports. An underdog team like the Tigers with a payroll of the current roster right now of only like $24 million, which is absolutely insane. So for them to be in this position, as they say, that's why you got to love sports. And we got 2 more postseason games tonight. Another, league only night. We had the American League only last night. Tonight will be the National League only tonight. Before we have all 4 teams playing tomorrow. So it's interesting how they staggered that. And I know they definitely do that on non-NFL days to try to get some better ratings. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we do have 2 games. The first one, 5:08, one that we know Mr. Anthony Materiello is going to be dialed into. Phillies and Mets, Citi Field, tickets as low as $183. You'd imagine with fees, we're talking over $200 a pop. So all of a sudden, we talked about them with that waning attendance all year. Down the stretch, they've really picked it up. And I know some of the players had called for that. But you got Aaron Nola, the former Cy Young Award winner, making his first start of the postseason, going up against Sean Manaea, who gave up 2 runs over 5 in his, for the Mets. So this is a big game for sure. And Philly was disappointed to collapse there in that game 1. They hold on in game 2, almost blow it again. And this is a pivotal game. These game 3s are big. The Dodgers Padres will be the nightcap. That's at 9:08. Both of these games on FS1. Walker Buehler, Michael King. I think this sets up beautiful for San Diego. You have a tie series here. Obviously, there's been a lot of chirps back and forth. Michael getting riled for Machado and Tatis. But Michael King was pretty much unhittable in his playoff debut for the Padres against the Braves in the wild card series. Walker Buehler hasn't pitched yet, but had a very disappointing year, coming back from injury, all of that. But I think, the Padres, who have really gotten beaten up over the years before taking the season series from the Dodgers this year, are in a good spot here. So that's going to be an interesting one coming from the beautiful Petco Park, San Diego, California. And if you would, Michael, if you could strike up the music for a Tuesday edition of the Major League Division Series Frenzy, coming to you live from Citi Field here. I think this is going to be one of those games. We've seen it with the Mets recently where it's up for grabs late. And looking at the pitching matchup, wouldn't be surprised if we had a 2-2 game here, through 6 innings, battle of the bullpens. Philly's bullpen isn't great. We saw them give up that home run to Vientos. But I think, in this game, I could see, the Mets bullpen has bit them in the ass before, and I could see that happening here. So what I think is this is going to come down to the 9th inning. I think we're going to be 3-all. And then you are going to see Bryce Harper, one of Michael's personal favorites, step up to the plate, 1 on, 1 out. And I think he goes 2-run homer opposite field. So a real shot there to give the Phillies a 5-3 lead, which I think they will win by here. So I'm going to say take the Phillies, take the over. Phillies going up 2-1 in that National League Division Series. The other National League Division Series, I know, tempers were flaring. Dodgers are tight, after losing, that game 2. But I just don't think Walker Buehler is the right guy here. I would not be surprised, Michael, if he doesn't even make it through 2 innings. I think Tatis, Machado, maybe even Jackson Merrill, all leaving the building there for the Padres early and often. I think Michael King, maybe it's not the 7 scoreless with the dozen strikeouts he had in his first playoff start, but I think it's 7 innings, maybe 2 runs and 10 strikeouts, backed by his offense. The Padres putting themselves in prime position here. I think they will win this game. I'm going to say 8-4. So it's going to be the Padres and the over. And just like that, that is your wild card frenzy. So that's what we have there. So, these games have been exciting. All these series are close. I think it speaks to, how wide open these playoffs are. So we'll have to see what happens. And then, of course, we got a big day tomorrow. Not only the Yankees back in action, but all 4 series will be in action tomorrow. So that is going to be nuts for sure. And maybe we'll have some series clinched depending on the results from tonight. But time will only tell. But for now, Michael, if we could go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick 6. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
Say, Michael, 1 to 10. This news for your excitement that finding that out. I don't think you saw it coming this morning. Does it get you jacked, or you still got let's win also?
Yeah, but I'm pumped. This is good. This is good. They care.
And I think that
they want to win this year.
But I think the timing was no accident, because you lose these 2 games that, you felt like, for sure you should have won the one against Denver. And now first place is on the line Monday night. You want all your horses, all your ducks in a row. And I think that's what this gives them. And it's nice the history's on their side. Despite being very mediocre, the last 4 or 5 years or the whole SALEH tenure, they have played well against the Bills. We saw them split the last couple of years, and, for their sake, you got to hope that they can take care of business, on Monday night. So let's go. And it'll be interesting to see how exactly they respond. The last game of week 5 was played last night between the Kansas City Chiefs and New Orleans Saints. And what do you know? The Kansas City Chiefs, 26-13. They moved to 5-0. Pretty impressive, on this young season. And again, every game, it feels like, is not perfect for Kansas City. They've lost key guys to injury, but they find a way. And you expect that out of the 2-time defending Super Bowl champs. One guy that I think has been a revelation for Kansas City, he started his career there, had some off the field issues, went to Cleveland, was kind of okay there, had to go on a practice squad before getting elevated after the Pacheco injury. Kareem Hunt, who had an outstanding game last night. He is back. He had 100 yards and a touchdown last night. And that touchdown, the 5-yard run in the first quarter.
He was Tyreek Hill before Tyreek Hill.
But at running back. But yeah, I got you. 10 plays, 78 yards. So that got Kansas City off to a 7-0 lead. They get the ball back second quarter, 10 plays, 52-yard drive, 26-yard field goal for Butker, 10-0. So Chiefs in control at that point. But then Derek Carr, who would leave this game later with injury, a 43-yard pass to Rashid Shaheed. So that's one you don't want to say too quickly, but he's been known as kind of one of the more underrated explosive players in the National Football League. So that made this a game here, 10-7. Harrison Butker, long drive for the Chiefs, but again, having to settle for 34-yard field goal, 13-7. Chiefs get the ball back again, 9 plays, 55 yards. Mahomes so good at the end of the half of getting in position for a score, 28-yard field goal, 16-7 at the second quarter horn. No scoring in the third quarter. Saints, though, make this a game. Carr to Foster Moreau. So 16-13 would have been 16-14, but Blake Groupie chunking the extra point. So a 3-point game. Chiefs, 5 plays, 68 yards. Xavier Worthy, the impressive rookie, a 3-yard touchdown run, 23-13. Butker from 38, 26-13, and the Saints unable to do anything with their last possession. So final score, 26-13, and definitely very disappointing for New Orleans. That big 2-0 start, over 90 points their first 2 games, and then they lose 3 in a row. Carr's got the oblique, so I think things will be looking, no pun intended, pretty bleak for New Orleans if they have to go to their backup quarterback. I believe second-year player. They didn't have, an established veteran to back up Derek Carr, and that obviously comes back to bite. It's Jake Hayner, who was 2 for 7 for 17 yards. And speaking of numbers here, Mahomes, in terms of the yardage and completion, that was vintage, 28 of 39, 331, but no touchdowns, 1 pick, but was only sacked twice. QBR 70, so obviously was doing something right there. But what Kareem Hunt has done, filling in for Pacheco, unbelievable. 27 for 102 in the score, grinding out those tough yards for Kansas City. So what a story. Who would have thought he would find himself back with the Chiefs? Speaking of back with the Chiefs, Juju Smith-Schuster spent the last, couple of seasons with New England, 7 for 130. So leading the way in receiving, help filling the void of Rashee Rice. Kelsey, more involved, second game in a row, 9 for 70. And then, he also hit 6 other receivers for passes. So really spreading the ball out here. And at the end of the day, the Chiefs find themselves 5-0. And once again, I know it's very early in the season here, only 5 games through, but it does appear, Michael, that the AFC will run through Kansas City once again.
Yeah, unless Rodgers does something.
Well, I think it's one of those things where he could, upset him, but in terms of the home field, it seems like they're on their way to securing that once again. Big matchup, Super Bowl rematch in Santa Clara. They have their bye, and then that will be their first game out of the bye on the 20th, 4/25. So that should be a good one. And then they have the Raiders, the Bucks, the Broncos, the Bills, the Panthers, the Raiders. So manageable schedule for sure. And obviously they will, try to get healthy. Obviously Rice isn't coming back, but Pacheco at some point. So Andy Reid, it is amazing what he does. I truly believe the best coach in the National Football League by a landslide. And you really appreciate too, that he was a guy, who for so long was the one that couldn't win the big game. And here he is, winning 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. What a stat that is. And he looks to continue to add to his collection this year. We'll have to see what happens. And just like that, it will be week 6. Starting on Thursday. Al Michaels, a little West Coast feel here. Seattle hosting the 49ers. So, both teams coming off disappointing losses. The 49ers losing to the Cardinals, the Seahawks losing to the Giants. So both want a win in the worst way. And San Francisco -3.5 here. Total set at 47.5. And, we'll talk more about that on Thursday, but I would imagine, that'll be a tough physical game and one that I wouldn't be surprised if it's down to the final possession. We do have Bernie in the building saying, "What's up, boys? Have a great show."
Yo.
So great to see him on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And we appreciate him giving us the shout out here. So, and just looking ahead here next week, you got the London game, Jags and Bears. I think that one will be interesting. I think Cards pack as well. Jordan Love coming off that first win of the season. Colts, Titans, probably a snoozer. Texans, Patriots. I mean, I know the Texans haven't been scoring a lot, but you would expect them to blow out New England. Bucks, Saints, that's always a good one. Browns and Eagles, not too much juice there. Is Deshaun Watson going to get benched? They have Jameis Winston waiting. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do there. So they're kind of in shambles, and the Eagles find themselves, at 2-2. Are there locker room problems? Are there not? I had said probably my favorite game of the week here, Commanders, Ravens. Amazing what Jaden Daniels has done. Lamar has looked pretty good in his own right, coming off an MVP last year. And then, the 4:00 windows, Chargers, Broncos. I guess just in terms of the coaching matchup, that provides some juice, and that's a divisional game. But not a ton of hype there. Steelers, Raiders, same type of thing. Lions, Cowboys, I think will be good. That one's going to be in Dallas. Falcons, Panthers, probably a snoozer. And then I don't know how we couldn't do better than the Giants and Bengals Sunday night. The Bengals in shambles at 1-4, Giants at 2-3. Now, obviously, he's signed to a big contract, and you wouldn't expect him to go anywhere anytime soon, Michael. But does the Bengals struggling, not being able to get over the hump, give you a little hope potentially that Joe Ice may be coming to New York in the future years?
That would be sick.
I feel like for me, it's a McDavid kind of prophecy.
If you're the first one to call this, I would love that.
He probably is like, I'm not fucking going to the Jets.
I know. Unless they win now.
Yeah. But come on. I really want some honest perspective here, because I know you like to get hyped and think about the run.
I know.
But is it for you? I know, yes, the season would still be on, but is it kind of like must win Monday night? Because otherwise you're 2-4.
Yes.
With some tough games remaining.
It's not over, but it's definitely grim.
Have you been disappointed in Rodgers?
No, I will be now going forward if he fucks up.
His guy's out. No, and it's so funny.
He definitely got him canned.
No, and definitely too. He tried playing out that stare.
Yeah.
On the Thursday night game was it? It was something.
Clearly.
Oh man, that is funny for sure. One thing that kind of snuck up on us, Michael. So we're gonna do a couple quick segments here before we wrap up. Let's first start in the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Pops up. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's a middle break. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net between the legs, and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. So believe it or not, I know technically there was some game in the Czech, Michael. I believe the Devils were victorious in their season opening game. And we haven't talked about this in a while, but is for you, I know it was part of your past life. Is it part of your current life with the Devils, or are you kind of like, it's over? Because beginning of the year last year, you were not saying that. I think because the Devils had beaten the Rangers in that playoff series 2 years ago.
No. Honestly, I just wasn't sure if I wanted to commit. I'm glad the Rangers didn't win it last year. So I was a part of that loss, and I could now start the season with them. I don't know, dude. I haven't watched hockey since I was a kid.
But I feel like you were watching the Rangers playoff games last year.
No, I was.
Yeah,
Besides that.
Yeah.
So we're back.
And even if, like, just hypothetically, just trying to think of all angles here.
There's Brodor's kid on the Devils right now as a goalie. Do you know that?
No, wait, in the minors?
No, I think he's the third string.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Brodeur. Like, if just hypothetically, I don't think this would happen. If he was named head coach, then would there be a little trepidation for you or no?
For the Devils?
Yeah. Or no, it's over.
No, I don't give a shit.
I actually want to check that out about.
Yeah, I'll look it up for you.
I was going to look up the depth chart here. I guess it was 2 games in the Czech that they won. So I can only imagine how nuts Stacks is going. He probably thinks they're going to go undefeated and win the next 3 Stanley Cups. But let's see. So goalies.
September 30th, Jeremy steps up to task his preseason debut with a great pad stop on the breakaway to keep the game scoreless against the New York Rangers.
He might be in the minors because they're showing Markstrom starting and then Jake Allen, the former Canadian, is the backup there. But that is crazy that they did that, though.
Yeah,
I know you love the lineage stuff.
I do. But he's a scumbag.
Really? Oh, no, you're saying Marty himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Which kid is he? I don't know. Who's the mom? I'm not like really though.
Yeah.
I wonder which it has to be the first. I don't know. Actually, he's 27. It could have been the second.
You never know.
Dude, I can't believe that.
No, I know.
I honestly kind of.
But then again, you kind of can because it's just the world, right, Michael? I mean,
he said, glad they didn't win. Boo. LOL. Josh. You know what? Sorry, Josh. I want to be a part of it. Now I could say I went through a losing season. So. It's selfish, but I don't care.
Yeah.
We'll win this year.
And they're going to play their first game of the regular season.
I don't know, though. I'm not too confident, but...
And it's funny that you mentioned that. I mean, you heard me
I know you're not.
This. Well, it's just like, I know we have talent on the team, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, how many people win back-to-back President's Cup trophies? So I'm not expecting that. But, I think somewhere mid to high 40s, maybe even 50 wins. But the fact that, we kept the same guys like that are especially on offense. That's what concerns me. Playoffs, no matter what sport we're talking about, offense is so big in how small that Artemi Panarin came up last year, especially after the first round. I thought it was embarrassing coming off a 50-goal season. Kind of almost reminded me of what happened to Kreider later in that playoff year a couple years ago. So I just... You know what I mean? It's like it's so hard to gauge in sports, Michael, where you have the same group, they get into the playoffs, they come short a couple of times. It's like how many times do you give them before you decide to mix it up? And I guess hockey, a lot of time, as Tony likes to say, the grizzled vets kind of dominate and are
that's fine
longer. But what I'm asking you is like. You want to say because they lost to the Devils in that first round, but 3-4 years here of not getting the finals, feeling like you have the team.
Yeah.
You've switched the coach. I mean, this has to be it. Like, if this year doesn't pan out. And I really think Drury, I was disappointed at the trade deadline. They didn't make the big move. And then the offseason, I thought they would be tinkering with some pieces. And then a little weak with the whole Jacob Trouba, his wife being upset about the move, and they don't trade him even though they wanted to trade him. I mean, a little ridiculous or no?
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? How does that scenario work out? Like you're telling a guy you're planning on trading him, and then you pull out of the deal, and then he has to just be on the team. I mean, how could that be so copacetic?
No, I don't think so. I'm nervous a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like the open of the season, but I always love the beginning because it's a fresh slate. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe they're riled up.
Yeah, that's true. And I think another big thing is just like John Sterling here, Sam Rosen, his last year as the play-by-play voice of the New York Rangers. So I know the Rangers want to do everything they can to send him out on top. And, we got the Rangers in Pittsburgh tomorrow, and then the home opener Saturday at the Garden against the Utah Hockey Club, formerly known as the Arizona Coyotes. So I'm sure the Garden will be rocking for that one. Can't wait to be there for a game this season. But we do have 3 games on the slab tonight. So I mean, I know Tony's bummed he's missing this, but the first NHL frenzy of the season, and we are starting in Seattle. The battle between the Kraken and the Blues. And it's one of those things. I mean, you look at the odds here. Seattle minus 155. And I last year, like a fool, doubted them all season, and they ended up being a lot better than I had anticipated. So continuing with that trend, I think, they just got the team back a couple years ago, or first got the team. So I think the fans will be fired up there. The Blues have been trending in the wrong direction the last couple of years. So I think Seattle starts in a big way here. And I think they shut out the Blues 3-0. So we go Kraken and the under for the first shell pick of the year. Second game here, a matchup that we're very familiar with, that epic 7-game series from 2 years ago between the Panthers and the Bruins. A lot of familiar faces back for this one. And the Bruins are another team you felt like they had the horses. They've come up short. They lost in the first round of the Panthers 2 years ago after winning the President's Trophy. So I think for a opening season matchup, this one is going to be physical. There's going to be a lot of emotion in this one. But the Panthers come into this game defending champs, dialed in. Matthew Tkachuk is a complete animal. And I think Bravowski back for another season with the Panthers here. I think at home, they raise the banner and they get the W. I'm going to say Tkachuk hat trick. So Josh B, I know he's clipping that one. First hat trick of the year here. Panthers, I'm going to say 5-3. So Panthers and the over. Last game, final game, and as Tony would say, best game, even though there's some debate about that. Utah Hockey Club making their regular season debut in Salt Lake, Delta Center. I believe that's where the Jazz play, Michael. Going up against the Blackhawks. And, Bedard, obviously Dean fired up too for the Blackhawks.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Long season last year. We saw the potential of Connor Bedard. And just because of that, and I know there's going to be, a lot of nostalgia and just excitement for Utah beginning their first game as a franchise here. But I just think the Blackhawks are due, second year, turn around. The plus 140 is definitely very tempting. So let's go with that. Let's go with Bedard. Second hat trick, Josh B. So only 3 games, 2 hat tricks. Bedard all by himself. 3-2 Blackhawks. Bedard with the hat trick. Blackhawks and the under. And just like that, that is your first NHL frenzy of the season. So definitely amped up for that. Amped up for the Rangers. And let's go. Let's go. The time is now, Michael. And just to throw you a bone before we wrap up here, let's go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls got LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
All right. So I've been dying to ask you about this, Michael. We haven't really had a conversation about this at all. Maybe just quick in the group chat. Tony was kind of like giving me a little synopsis, but can we realize sometimes he doesn't get the details right here?
Mm-hmm.
But from what I was gathering,
yes.
I guess it was like you were kind of lukewarm on the big deal with Towns and Randall. I mean, you've been calling for Randall to be out.
Yeah, no, that's great.
But it seemed like you had mentioned you kind of wanted to see him with this group.
Yeah.
And then also, too, I know you've been kind of up and down with Towns as well.
Yes.
And then DiVincenzo was huge for the team. So, I mean, give us something here, Michael. Give us some insight.
Definitely not disappointed, but I guess, like, I don't know. I guess the Knicks want training camp. They want Towns. They wanted Towns. They didn't want Randall. And they wanted them to start playing together ASAP. So they made the move. I didn't know he was from Jersey, which is like whatever, but he was a Knicks fan. So he is riled. I don't know, dude. Everyone's so riled about him, but like, there's a reason why Anthony Edwards took over the team.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
But he's the number 2, I guess.
Well, that. I think that's big because Jalen, pretty good leader.
Yes, he could do it, I think, with him, and we'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of with Iman Shumpert, where it's like, it's not scary. They're not like scary to me.
Wait, where was he? Where
he was on some
NBA TV,
some show like that.
Okay,
and he was just saying how that like Towns. I'm looking at Joel Embiid right now. Towns and Brunson aren't scary in the playoffs late, deep. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel that, honestly, like, we'll see, dude. I don't know. There's trading Mitchell Robinson potentially with the Knicks. Like, I don't know, man. It's so funny because I saw a clip of the old Knicks with like RJ Barrett and all those boys. And I was just like, dang. Like, I just wish we had better development for youth players. Like, it seems like all New York teams suck at that right now.
What about the Mets?
So,
dude, what about Zach?
Yeah. Oh God. Like, I don't know. I'm really pumped for this season, though. We've got a lot of just young, medium, and old players that are all good, and a mixture of new players on new teams, and second year and third year players, and even fifth year players that are looking to make big steps. Edwards, can he make the climb? Will the Celtics repeat? Doncic, Thompson, Kyrie, that's dope. Paul George in Philly. But I think people underestimate that, honestly, and I really do. Like,
hasn't he been in decline though, or no?
I don't care. I don't care. He's better than Tobias Harris.
Yeah, where is he now?
Who gives a shit? He sucks, dude. I used to always say he's a bootleg Melo. Never thought he'd even last in the league, and he made it so long. He made so much money. It's ridiculous. Bonchero in Orlando. I'm telling you, people are sleeping on that.
Saw him get drafted.
Dude, you did? Oh, yeah, you were there. That's sick, dude.
It was sick.
Dude, he's the most underrated. He gets LeBron numbers his first couple of years, and no one gives a shit about
Orlando.
him. ESPN.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
Pistons
Orlando,
for Harris,
Chet Holmgren looks good in his preseason. Thunder have our boy that was on the Lakers, that was on Chicago. Now he's there.
Why am I blanking on who this is?
He's
But the Thunder are an exciting team.
Caruso.
Alex Caruso. No, honestly, I'm just saying it right now. Thunder finals. Like, it would be sick to see LeBron win a run, but I think Shai.
Dude, have you
is
seen?
Is it Shai or Shea, by the way?
Shea.
Okay.
Have you seen Bronny?
Yes.
Like, bro, come on. What do you like? Be unbiased. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, it
like,
appears that way. Yes.
Right now, all I'm gonna say, dude, his first play in preseason, he gets the ball, bro, and it's like you could just tell how nervous he is because he gets the ball, dribbles like once, and immediately passes it back to the dude that just passed to him at the top of the key 3-point line area. Guess what happens? Steal. But he gets the block on the other end, but they score the bucket.
He just looks very small. I mean, that's what it is.
But he's not a point guard, dude. Like,
yeah. What is he supposed to be? A 3?
Stop it. No, he's definitely a 2.
2.
Or no, dude.
But I guess these days, though, I mean, you could be any size, and you know what I mean. It's so different than it used to be.
But it's
he just doesn't seem like he has like the talent, and he didn't get the reps either, which is tough.
I don't know. I feel bad for him. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not one of those people. I think his father bullied this situation into happening, honestly, and I just feel bad for the kid. Like, I don't know, LeBron's kid, blah, 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 but I know. He's just gonna be embarrassed this year. He's gonna get dunked on. He's gonna get crossed up.
Don't you think though he's like barely gonna play though? That I think it's just gonna be like, oh, we'll sprinkle a couple games in so we could say the first father-son regular season. But there's no way he's like a regular part of the rotation or something. I mean, maybe he could get to that point, but I think again, if he's getting that much playing time, then what's happening to the rest of the guys on the team? You know?
Yeah.
And it seems like Michael
Lakers going to be the same old show. Don't think Redick is bringing us a ring this year. Knicks are going to be nasty this year. I can see 55 to 60 wins. That's it. Like, That's like a fourth
No,
seed.
honestly, I think they're gonna break the Warriors record. Honestly.
Like, that's hilarious. He said, I think they could win 55 games if they're healthy. Like, oh, great. That sucks if that happens. I'll tell you that right now, Michael Buckta.
But yeah, it's interesting. I
Dude,
almost thought,
Pat Riley, 30 years, Miami Heat, anniversary this year. They've announced they're naming the court after him.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think that team's gonna be good too. I don't know, dude. I just like Milwaukee, Dame's redemption year.
Doc though, or Doc Cans
was he?
No, not yet.
Oh
but
yeah,
I'm saying,
he will.
Do you
Salah,
think definitely? No, you think Doc does not make it to the playoffs?
depends how they go.
Yeah.
Like if they're winning, then he's staying. But like if it's early struggles.
But what is because I mean, you would know better than me. I mean, I know it's just like, well, he's coaching. We see this pattern all over and over. But what do you think it is at the end of the day? What is his flaw? Why is he not able to get over the hump besides that one time in 08?
Because he doesn't have KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen on his team.
So you're basically saying that no matter what, he's not a good coach, is what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, come on. Like he had that 1 year with the Clippers, prime Blake Griffin, prime DeAndre Jordan, prime Chris Paul, Jamal Crawford, JJ Redick, Matt Barnes. Oh, I forgot who else was on that team, but it was deep, dude.
Right.
Like that's a deep playoff run team. They got bounced every year in the first round.
Yeah. No, I couldn't. That team was so good. Redick was on that team too.
Like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting for sure. And one thing I was really surprised about.
Michael Buckta, what are you talking about over here, buddy? We can't say that on air.
I actually can't wait to see this. Or maybe can I?
I know.
Well, I don't. It's not. Oh, but is it on YouTube?
I just popped it up on the screen. Oh no, I mean on. If you go onto the
to the stream,
yeah, he says Michael YouTube? T. Yo, son, the Knicks are a threat to bum F Tatum and the Celtics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he's back.
We haven't
heard him talk Tatum in months.
I know. It's all Kamala,
but I was gonna
his girl.
Come on. I was gonna say though, were you kind of surprised that I know they have like contracts and stuff, but the Lakers didn't like tinker with things more? Because I don't know. I mean, it's
dude,
just like,
they don't give a shit right now.
You really think though? You don't really think Jeannie's like kind of getting impatient, or you think she's just counting the billies?
She's just waiting for LeBron to get out of there.
You think there's tension there?
I just think they just got their ring. He's getting they get these historical moments with him scoring the points in the Lakers jersey, being the first father-son, and it's going to be in a Lakers jersey. Got one ring for them. I think they're over it.
Wow.
And I think they're just like, all right, let's just. I don't know. Why didn't they make any moves?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just.
Let's look at their roster.
They look at it and it's like, well, I mean, you got 2 of the top 10 players in the league. But besides the one run, I mean, what have they done? I mean, AD had a great year. But again, I mean, what good is it, if you don't get out of the first round?
Armel Traore, Quincy Olivari.
I like Rui.
Kyler Kelly.
We have a couple of his cards.
That rookie though, Dalton Connect is going to be nice.
Oh yeah. Wait, was he first round or second round?
First, and dude, he's like maybe
absolute sniper, right?
Him and that dude in Chicago are going to be the steals of this draft.
But he's like a Redick.
No. He's like.
But I mean, just from shooting perspective, like he's that efficient, though, right?
Shooting, yeah, but he's just as athletic as LeBron.
Okay, gotcha.
You still got Cam Reddish, you got Jared Vanderbilt, you got Anthony Davis, Gabe Vincent's trash, by the way. Bronny James, embarrassing. Jackson Hayes was a good pickup.
I know you always like him.
I like him. Max Christie, don't understand like how he's in the league, but it is what it is. Colin Castleton. Our boy Austin Reeves. I think
Tatum is so back.
Austin Reeves is gonna have a big year too. He's gonna be
always liked Reeves.
Yeah, Maxwell Lewis, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura,
Bronny James.
You guys got Christian Wood too.
Yeah, he played last year. He didn't do well, but I always liked him. So I
think he'll have a better year.
Yeah, I think he's very athletic and jump out of the gym.
JJ Redick's gonna use him. No, and he's got a great jumper and stuff. I remember on Houston, he has the whole package.
Yeah, no, dude, that
he's
was
like Lamar
insane.
Aldridge a little bit.
What Reddick though? What do you think? You think it works out?
He looks like such a chief. They got
But,
Scott Brooks,
I
Nate
mean,
McMillan.
The only thing I would say is I feel like though he knows basketball though.
He does. I hope he does well.
I'm surprised though he's not like slightly tempted because it's been a while since we've seen this to become like the first player coach in forever. I always thought him and LeBron were meant
Who
to play
did that?
together. I mean, I think back in the day, didn't Magic?
But that's not real.
No, but I'm saying, don't you think Reddick, if he was just like coming in to hit a couple of threes,
How do you do that? Like, that's fucking nuts. Like, you're like, do you have like one of those suits that like are like, shh,
yeah,
and then you can just like, and they just slip it onto you when you go into the
But
timeout?
now that they're casual with that, I mean, it's kind of easier.
Oh, you're right.
But didn't you always think though that like they were meant to play together? Because I just feel like LeBron with the passing and like Reddick with the standing. Yeah, I was surprised it didn't happen.
I know.
And I think the last one we're gonna get from Michael Bucket today, he says, "Please tell me Michael was joking about Kamala."
No, I heard that's your best friend. Aren't you like, you love her?
Oh, geez, that's funny. That's funny. I did see the Lakers. It looks like the 22nd. So we still got a couple of weeks till NBA starts.
Mm-hmm. So we'll wait till we do a full preview.
But yeah, exciting stuff.
Oh,
sure.
Michael, I'm just joking.
Screw
you, man. Jeez.
Wow.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
Yeah, we like having a good time with you, bud. All right. But that being said, Michael.
Yeah.
I think that's that. Now, last question for you is: do we have a prime time tonight or edition?
Binge buddies.
Any
8
any
o'clock.
subject matter?
I have
surprise?
dude. I'm just a pawn.
Really?
Tony's in charge there.
I feel like you're a little discouraged by.
Dude, there's no movies. Thank God we didn't go see freaking Joker 2. Like Tony wanted to see it. I think it was Friday or some shit, dude. And I telling you, I was so tired that day. And I watched a TikTok on someone. It was like this. It was like one of those videos where it's like, going in to see the Joker. I'll let you know how it is, and he's like super excited. And then it's like their reaction right after, yo, F this movie, blah, 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 all that stuff. And at the bottom, it's like, I haven't slept in a movie theater in years, and I passed out during this movie.
That's funny.
So
That's
if
funny.
he hasn't fallen asleep in years, I fall asleep at almost every movie. I couldn't do it. There's no good movies out.
Yeah.
Mighty Morphin Power Plumbers 2 is out. I'll watch that.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
And is Manny gonna make an appearance or just the two of you?
I'm not sure. I think he may be.
Okay. All right. And that'll be an 8 p.m. edition, of Binge Buddies, and be right after the Mets game. So either Tony's gonna be in a very good mood or he's gonna be tight. You're gonna be making jokes.
Oh yeah. Definitely. It's funny because like I want him to be happy.
Right. But you're over the Mets fans and the chatter.
I'm way over all the Mets fans getting way ahead of themselves, because the thing is, like, my thing is, when you lose, dude, any year, right?
Yeah.
Since 2009, are you like, and let's say you go to the wherever ALDS championship, are you like super pumped? And you're like, oh, but that was a great season.
No.
Like,
but
so
they
like,
will do that.
Yes.
They will do that.
So it's like,
yeah.
No,
exactly.
And I'm not like one of those Yankee fans that's like roasting, but it's just like, have a winning attitude and mentality, and like,
nothing but the best is enough.
Exactly.
That's it. And I think that's a good place to call it, Michael. But I have to say, was an absolute pleasure, my friend, today. And we will definitely see more of you as the NBA season comes closer, and maybe the Jets find their heads out of their derrieres.
We got to watch that together Monday night.
Yeah,
that's
no doubt.
a must.
Definitely.
It's like a whole new season.
But the thing is, Yankees potentially have game 1 ALCS if they get the job done. So we'll have to go multi-screen. Yeah, but dialed, Michael. Dialed. Jets are secondary. We know it.
That's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah, so we'll sort all that out. But once again, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in today, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jane Costume, the merch at downtimtv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you
mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.